Hello. So I wanted to share this while it's fresh on my mind. So I have this particular trigger that comes up, and it is one of those stories that has played over and over in my life in different ways. And in the work that I do, it's all about finding the point of origin, finding where that story originated, where you're storing it in your body, and collapsing it, right? So the trigger point for me that has come up in so many different iterations and has these sort of very human kind of real world 3D reality experiences attached to it, and then also it's something I've kind of seen mirrored back to me on all these different galactic levels as well, is this story of being seen as different or being seen as other. And this is, the very human level of it is growing up mixed race in Scotland and always being seen as different, always being asked, no, but where are you really from? And, people just making assumptions about me based on my skin color, people referring to me as black when my dad's white, so how am I black? That kind of thing, that just these sort of projections and people trying to put you in a box, right? And all the racism and all that crap, right? But this is something I've done so much work on dismantling in my field. So whenever triggers around feeling different come up, I'm always really curious about, okay, where's the point of origin for this? Because I have cleared so much on that human level of it. And I've just been over the last day or so at this festival, which is running in the town near me. And I was at a music event yesterday, and this guy started talking to me, and when he was sort of looking at me, I just kept hearing, he can't see you, he can't see you. So I knew that his perception wasn't taking me in fully. And he said something like, what brings you here, kind of thing. And I was like, oh, I just live in the next town, kind of thing. And he's then sort of, gone on this big tangent about how he's come to the festival for the last 20 years, blah, 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 blah. And then at the end of the conversation, he's like, oh, well, enjoy your stay here. And I was sort of like, I fucking live here. Like, what do you mean enjoy your stay? And it got that trigger point within me where I was just like, oh, he thinks that I'm just popping in to the festival rather than that I'm someone who actually lives in the area. And, again, it's so minor, right? But that trigger point came up and I was like, okay, interesting, noted. And then today it came up again. And it was more like a general feeling rather than a particular incident, and kind of walking around the festival today, I just kept feeling this sense of feeling really different from others. And I was like, okay, show me the point of origin in my Akashic records, because there's something going on here. And I was immediately taken out to the halls of Amenti, where the Galactic records are stored. And I saw this lifetime where I was a culture bringer in this particular star system, and it was like I'd come in with this contract to be a reformer, so to be someone that comes in and changes structures and systems within that particular planetary belt. And so I was like, okay, but I could sense that wasn't the actual point of origin, that was just another layer of the story. So when I tracked it further back, where I was taken was the grand central sun, so the sun at the very center of this galaxy. And I immediately felt all this emotion and just I wanted to cry, and this feeling of coming home. Like, if you have strong connections in the Milky Way galaxy and you are sort of attuned, you attune yourself to that field of the grand central sun, it feels like home. It feels like just this glorious light and just coming home. And I could tell that I had at one point been an aspect or a fractal of this sun being, and when we all split, it was like I felt that sense of separation or disconnection and this feeling of being different, right? So I was like, oh, right, I see it. I see the point of origin with this, and went in and did some clearing and integrated those aspects of me, and it's immediately felt this release and this sort of this very multidimensional sense of being home wherever I am, which is much more akin to my actual programming and my blueprint and how I've set things out on that soul level for me to experience the world, is to be somebody who feels at home everywhere, very much a bit of a nomadic soul, a gypsy soul, and that's reflected in my galactic lifetimes as well. Whenever people who can read the galactic records are in mine, they're like, you've been everywhere, and I'm like, yes. I know. So that's just part of my coding and just part of who I am. And so when I feel that sort of sense of disconnection from that, there's a story running that isn't true for me anymore. And so it was just this really beautiful experience of just going in, collapsing and integrating. And I always find whenever we integrate multidimensional aspects of us is because it's time for us to do it, and there's some kind of synchronization within the universe for why we have to integrate that version of us at that particular time. So I just wanted to share this story, and would love to know what your thoughts are, and if you have experienced similar things of recognizing that there's something running on that earth plane that it does not have an origin point in the earth plane at all. It is in fact somewhere way far out, but it's so fascinating how it intersects and how those timelines bleed through and they overlap. So thank you for watching.